It is hour number 2. Welcome into Three-Man Front on Jocks. Pat Landrum, Molly Conrad with you until 2 o'clock. A lot of basketball talk in hour number 1. Bama big win against the Tennessee Vols. They end a 5-game losing streak to Tennessee. Final there 71-69. Meanwhile, Auburn has now put themselves in a very weird position over the course of the next couple of games because they cannot lose. Based on Joe Lunardi's projections, they're in the tournament. Our own Rocco Miller says they're not in the tournament. So there's a lot of debate on where Auburn currently stands. We'd love to hear from you on the text line, 205-834-9450, 1-800-239-WJOX. Meanwhile, if the SEC tournament started today, Alabama would be the number 2 seed. They would have the double bye. And it's interesting because on the line that would be with Alabama, you would have Georgia and LSU. They would play first. The winner of that game would then get Tennessee. And then the winner of that game would get Alabama. So that would mean that Bama and Tennessee could play each other in Nashville.
I have not seen the status. What's the status of the 6-10? Is it Amen?
Do what now?
Tennessee's player.
Oh,
Amen.
yeah. I saw where after the game Rick Barnes said it was because it looked like
it was a leg
knee
injury, right?
thing,
It was an ankle.
But then apparently, yeah, he's had some ankle or foot injury. He's kind of been nagging him all year long. So I think he's going to be okay, but they might rest him for this week. But yeah, he'll be okay.
UAB, meanwhile, they continue the weirdest season I've ever seen since covering UAB basketball. They lose again at home, this time to North Texas. UAB was a 5.5-point favorite. They lose to the Mean Green, who they beat in Texas at the beginning of the season. Blazers are now 1-7 at home in conference play. They're 8-0 on the road, which is good news because they got to go to Charlotte Wednesday night.
I know that Andy's just at a loss. I think everybody is. You don't see a home record like that versus an away record. Now, generally, you'll see them mirror each other if you just have a bad basketball team. But I know he's tried everything. We've jokingly said stay in Coleman and drive in. Away uniforms at some point? Do you make your team maybe dress in the visitors' locker room?
Well, as Andy said after the game, the team's just not tough. I mean, they just let them push them around, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. UAB shot 39% from the field. More importantly, they only shot 65% from the free throw line. UAB did. So they got to the line, they just couldn't make free throws. So as I mentioned, Blazers at Charlotte on Wednesday. UAB could have locked up a double bye yesterday with a win,
Of
and
course.
now you are tied with Charlotte. So if Charlotte beats you, then you're pretty much out of getting the double bye of the tournament that you're hosting.
Wait, it's on the road, right?
At Charlotte.
Okay,
yes.
then they're going to win. It's fine.
And then they come home, they finish the season against East Carolina.
There are other teams that I would rather play on the road to end the season at what's at stake than that Charlotte team, though.
Yeah.
It's not a bad team.
No, not at all. So, all right, let's get back to the phones. 1-800-239-WJOX. Let's go to Robert in Greenville. Hey, Robert.
Good morning. How y'all doing today?
We're doing great. How are you?
Good. First of all, I want to congratulate Alabama. Regardless of what the last caller said, this was a huge win.
Thank you.
I think I told y'all a few weeks ago when y'all were talking about Alabama's last 6 regular season games. I said I think Alabama would go 4-2, but their 2 losses would be to Arkansas and to Tennessee, and those 2 games they both won by 2 points. And I got to give Latrell Wright a lot of credit. He kept Alabama in the game early and most of the early part of the second half until Fallon got going. And I think it was a great gesture on Fallon's part to come off the bench and do what he did. Considering he was injured, and he wanted to see what Tennessee's defense looked like. And I know Aiden Sherrill only scored 4 points, but, man, he had 8 rebounds and 4 blocks. He was the one guy who played well inside because Amari Allen's been tremendous all year. He had a very rough game. But I want to speak about Alabama's defense a minute. I know Aiden was out most of that game, but he did still play a good bit of the first half and 2 or 3 minutes second half. Alabama held Tennessee 4 of 18 from 3 and 0 for 5 from 3 in the second half. And did not allow a point the last 2:03, 2:05 of the game. And And I know they got out rebounded pretty bad, but when it mattered the most, Alabama was able to come through. And despite the fact that they started out 4 turnovers first 5 minutes, they were able to only turn over 6 times in the last 35 minutes. And I want to give a shout out, if you don't mind, the Troy Trojans that went into Sun Belt Conference regular season championship for second year in a row.
They sure did.
And remember, and they did their part, beat Louisiana and Law Monroe, and then everybody else, you were tied with them, lost. They were like a 6-way tie for second. And the Sun Belt tournament is structured where the regular season is very important. They only have 2 games a day because they're trying to protect the number 1 and number 2 seeds. And Troy's men got a number 1 seed. Troy's women, by the way, got a number 2 seed in Pensacola. And remember, they lost to Kentucky in the first round of the NCAA tournament. But and this is the 5th straight year for Scott Cross to have 20 or more wins. They'll probably be an NIT team. They don't make it because they won their league title. But I'm just real happy for Troy. I mean, it was a very good Friday night. But I have to comment a minute about the Auburn situation. I think that until 2 or 3 weeks ago, Auburn was in good shape because of their strength of schedule and the wins over Florida, Arkansas, St. John's, North Carolina State. But you cannot lose to Oklahoma. You cannot lose to Mississippi State or Ole Miss. And I don't care what Bruce Pearl says. I know Miami, Ohio's schedule has not been that strong, but look, they're the only team entering March with an undefeated record. I think they're 29-0. I think that they've proven that they belong, regardless of what Bruce Pearl says. I mean, and look, he's made some really ridiculous comments lately, especially about Alabama and about the Bediako situation, and I just think he's trying to push Auburn in the tournament. Yeah, you played number 2 hardest schedule in the country, but what he didn't bring up was the 11 quad 1 losses and those 3 bad losses to Mississippi State, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss. Those 3 losses there is what's going to keep them out of the tournament, along with these other losses. And Auburn has had every opportunity, whereas Alabama, on the other hand, they won 8 in a row, and you got your best player wanting to come off the bench. I mean, and at Auburn, you got players getting suspended because they don't meet the Auburn standard or is late for practice. And I had a friend, my best friend told me he did not think Stephen Pearl was a very good hire. And I know it's only his first year. I know he needs a little time, but look, he's going to come in next year on a major hot seat, especially if Auburn does not make the NCAA tournament. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose to LSU this week. I would. I watched every dribble of the Alabama-LSU game, and LSU lost, but, man, they gave a pretty good effort. And, look, they also beat SMU, who's already beat North Carolina earlier in the season, and they also beat Missouri, and Missouri's improving. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if LSU goes and Auburn wins that game.
It'll be a big one. Hey, always appreciate the phone call, Robert. Thank you very much.
Yep. And Bruce Pearl, if I was Bruce Pearl, I would be saying the same thing about my son. I would. I think it would be interesting if you remove Bruce Pearl from just leaving Auburn, it being his son, what would his thoughts be? But I don't blame him for trying to protect his son. And when you hired him as an analyst, you knew that was what you were getting. But yes, Robert, I agree with you. I think that LSU, I was trying to find an early line on this game. With Auburn and LSU, I can't find one, but I'll call it right now. LSU wins that game. What leads you to believe that this Auburn team, because LSU, they've been competitive against good teams in the league.
And LSU just had a double overtime victory against Ole Miss in Oxford.
Yeah.
They scored, I think, 106 points against Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. A team that you let beat you on your home floor.
Mm-hmm. And he was mentioning Troy, and I love the Sunbelt bracket. If you remember when Sunbelt adopted this bracket, oh, it's incredible. They start the bracket tomorrow. And if you are Louisiana, Georgia State, or Louisiana Monroe and Old Dominion, Those are the two games that are going to be played tomorrow. You have to win 7 consecutive games to win the conference championship. So Troy, by winning the conference regular season title, they're not playing until March the 8th. So you're sitting there waiting, and you potentially could play a team that has played 5 consecutive days in a row before you actually step foot on the court. Now, the likelihood of that happening, very slim, but still, when you look at the bracket and the way the Sun Belt adopted that a couple years ago, it's great. It's one of the greatest brackets you're ever going to see in college basketball.
So if the MAC adopted that, would people...
Then I think it would really be a problem if Miami of Ohio lost. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you lose to a team that's already played 5 days in a row. Yeah, that's not a very good look. But yeah, the Sun Belt tournament gets started tomorrow in Pensacola.
And then we've got the SoCon tournament that's going to be starting in Asheville with Sanford being a 3 seed.
I think Saturday's when they start. I'm talking about Sanford plays.
And the tough thing is Furman's a little bit off this year, but they're still the 6th seed. A team that Sanford lost to twice this season, both of them close games on the road and at home, but not a first draw. A great first draw.
But you know what they say? It's very tough to beat a team 3 times
it is.
this season.
That's right.
And
Hard to beat them twice.
That's what Coach A. Cuff and the Bulldogs have going for them. But championship week, it's a fun time of year with or without Auburn. It'd be a lot more fun with Auburn, but not this Auburn team, to be clear.
Well said.
205-834-9450. More of your text, but your phone calls first. Let's go to Poe. Hey, Poe.
Man, my peeps, Landrum Roberts, Pat Smith, Conrad, and Molly and Damon, if y'all two of them. What's up?
What's going
What's
on, man?
up,
How you
man?
been?
It's championship week,
Ain't
Poe.
nothing. Hey, championship week, first off, Landrum. Hey, high school, don't forget about high school. Let's not forget about high
That's
school.
championship
baby.
week.
I'm
That's
ready
right.
for high school.
That's right.
Yes, I'm ready for high school.
Me
Been
too.
waiting on that, Landrum. So I know I'm going to hear you out there calling if you're going to call the game.
I am.
We're ready for high school.
Let's do it.
So, y'all, Conrad will tell you. Conrad know when I call in the morning. He'll tell you the thing that gets me about teams is who, Conrad? Coaches. When it's a coach that I feel can't handle their business, can't do their job, that's when I dislike the team. So where I'm going to go with this, Auburn Tigers. And let me try to make this real quick. My Georgetown Hoyas, people try to Mississippi State, they're not really my team in basketball. Georgetown Hoyas. My Georgetown Hoyas not going to make that. I already know that. They've been playing hard. So when it comes to Stephen Pearl, and I want to try to make this real quick. St. Louis Billikens doing good. I think they just lost 2 games. San Diego State, I like that coach. So if you're going to try to put Auburn in the NCAA March Madness over St. Louis Billikens, if they don't win nothing, and San Diego State, then I think that's wrong. Because we all know the reason why they're going to try to put Auburn in, because Stephen Pearl and Bruce Pearl. I'll just be honest. Bruce Pearl and Stephen Pearl. That's what they're going to try to. That's why they're going to do it. But Auburn been losing. So now it's proving me right when I talk to people about this. Stephen Pearl, okay, we're going to give him about, 2-3 years if he can sustain what he's doing now. Right now, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for him. And why am I happy? I'm glad because made his son as a coach in waiting. So now I'm going to criticize you. You getting paid, you the coach. So your boy Puck going to criticize you. I'm going to make sure, hey, you looking garbage right now, Stephen Pearl. So the only way I'm going to shut up from criticizing you and being hard on you, you got to prove Poe wrong. You see what I'm saying? So, and if they put Auburn in the NCAA tournament, it's going to be because of Bruce Pearl and Stephen Pearl. I got something else to say, but what do y'all stand on that?
Poe, I don't think that Bruce Pearl or Stephen Pearl, that's going to influence the decision. Just those 2 individuals. I do think it is about schedule strength and the emphasis being put not only by the committee several years ago in making sure that you have those games because they're going to count. And so much of the net rankings are based on all of these analytics coming from a lot of those things. I think that's what they're clinging to. They are rewarding teams for playing really tough schedules, and Auburn has played the toughest.
Okay, they played the toughest.
And won some of those games. But to me, it negates it the way that they've played down the stretch here recently, and Saturday was the icing on the cake. I don't need to see anymore.
Right. Yes, and Alabama, me and my son Josh, we love Alabama basketball. We love the basketball team. So them guys, man, they are clicking at the right time. So I'm loving them dudes, Conrad. I love the basketball team. I love what they doing. Fallon and all them cats keep up the good work, man. Hope Bama can slide through and do what they want to do. I like Missouri, Dennis Gates. I like his style. And I tell you again, John Calipari, I'm no fan of John Calipari. So whatever I can do to see anybody beat him down, please help me out on that, because I ain't no fan of John Calipari.
Thank you, Poe. We appreciate it. Good stuff from Poe. Now to Don. Don.
Hello, guys. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Wonderful. Don, how are you?
I'm fantastic, buddy. And Pat, you made a comment a minute ago about my Auburn Tigers. And before let's talk about that, Robert, Mr. Alabama fan, I'm an Auburn guy, and yes, we're terrible, but I don't need to hear it from a dadgum Alabama fammer, okay? So there you go. But, hey, us Auburn people know we're terrible, and we don't deserve to make the tournament. And, Pat, I agree with you. As soon as we lose 2 more games, we are officially out completely. We'd have to beat LSU or Alabama and probably win 2 games in the tournament to even think about making it.
So you agree with Pat? You don't agree with me that Auburn's already done?
No, I say they're done now.
No, I do
Okay.
agree. I do agree with you.
I think they're done.
Hey,
Pat thinks they're done. We don't need to see anymore. Shut it down right now.
I think everybody knows that we're done except for Bruce Pearl.
Now, Conrad still thinks there's a pipeline. I was listening to the morning show
I
this
said
morning.
if y'all beat LSU and Alabama and you win 3 games in a row here, I think you'll get in. Because then you'll be able to say, well, we beat Florida, Arkansas, Alabama, and Kentucky. We beat the 4 best teams in the SEC.
But Pat said it about 30 minutes ago, and no team that's lost 16 games has ever had an at-large bid. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, well, there you go. I mean, I just don't see it possible, guys. I really don't.
This is the season for first, though. We've seen some pretty interesting things.
Well, yeah, you have, and maybe on another team in our state, maybe with UAB moving away from Bartow Arena and going to Legacy next week, maybe that would give them a little juice to play better. In all my years of being a fan, I don't think I've ever seen a year like this where you win almost every game on the road and you lose almost every game at home. I don't believe I've ever seen this.
No, I haven't either. No, I haven't either, Don, because usually it's always the opposite. Teams play really well at home. That's why Vegas always gives you the benefit of the doubt. It gives you a couple points on the Vegas point spread, whether it's football or basketball. But, man, it's just the opposite at UAB for sure.
Well, for all my friends out there that love to gamble and everything, I hope you've been betting against my Auburn Tigers the last couple of weeks. If you have, you probably won every time you bet against us, okay? Can y'all say we were a 10-point favorite the other night?
Yeah, you were a 10-point favorite against Ole Miss.
Well, with Pat, with you being hotty-toddy and everything, I bet you took the right side.
I didn't touch that game with both of those teams.
Well,
the way those two teams.
When a game involves 2 really bad teams, Pat doesn't play the game because there's so many unknowns and unpredictables.
No, it has to be College of Charleston versus Hampton for me to play.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, hey, on the suspensions, there is one kid that got suspended right at the beginning of the year and that everybody forgets about, and he would have been Pettiford's backup point guard, the freshman Magwood. I believe he got suspended like the 2nd or 3rd week of the season.
Yeah, why did he get suspended, Don?
The same thing you just talked about, not showing up for team meetings. And I mean, unfortunately, and I'm not one of those in the boat of wanting to fire Stephen Pearl yet, but he just was not. He was left with nobody. I mean, that's not a good roster, and I bet you y'all agree with me. I mean, Pettiford's not going to go to the NBA, but I bet you he transfers.
You got some really good individual players, but we've seen that. But a lot of times, Keyshawn Hall goes for 29, Pettiford goes for 21, or Keyshawn Hall goes for 28, and Overton goes for 22. They're still losing games. They're not buying into defense. Number one, defense.
I'll give you an example. The Arkansas game on the road in Arkansas. Murphy and Pettiford basically had 75% of the points, and you'll have a player that'll go 1 for 13, like Kevin Overton went 1 for 13 against Arkansas. So yes, they don't play as a team.
They don't play.
No
They don't play
chemistry.
complementary basketball in any way, shape, or form. Whether it's on defense, whether it's on offense, you're about to go on a run, then all of a sudden it's just this. It's been a fever dream watching Auburn basketball the second half of the season.
Well, one last thing, guys. We got a big day ahead of us tomorrow, and happy early birthday to our beautiful First Lady of Jux, BB. We're going to have a good time up there tomorrow with BB's birthday. Should have a full house, and we got a bunch of me and my Stallions friends. We got a bunch of stuff we're working on, and we got a new, besides the Horsemen, Pat, Landry, Molly, and Conrad, we got a new club called the Giddy Up Boys.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna invite. We got a big a preseason thing coming up in a couple of weeks. That hopefully, the week of that, hopefully y'all will let me on the air on that Tuesday for me. I can invite everybody to it. But hey, Molly, Nebraska, y'all won Friday night. But my goodness gracious, girl, we kicked your butt the next 2 games.
Thank you, Don.
And,
Appreciate the call.
You're welcome, guys.
Thank you.
See y'all tomorrow.
Thanks, Don.
Molly was not hooked in. She did not hear what he had to say.
She didn't need to. It's fine.
No.
Late inning comeback on Friday. Yeah. That was a good win by Nebraska.
All right, when we come back, we have got a bracketology update. We will tell you what one of the main bracketologists in this country has to say about the Auburn Tigers. That's next. There's a lot of bracketology out there. Stay tuned. We'll tell you what Joe Lenardi just posted moments ago in regards to the Auburn Tigers. Remember, Saturday night, he had Auburn in. We'll give you the very latest momentarily. But, your foundation waterproofing specialist, that is Deep South Construction Pros. Deep South is a family-owned company with real Southern roots. If you're dealing with foundation issues or moisture problems, Deep South Construction Pros, they are the experts. Foundation repair and waterproofing, that's the backbone of what they do each and every day. From cracks and wood damage to crawl space, moisture, and mold, their trained crews fix the problem at the source. The owners are proud Alabama locals who still call this place home, and they're committed to serving families across the great states of Alabama and Tennessee. In the Deep South, reputation means everything. That's why Deep South Construction Pros puts their name on every job. They treat every home like it's their own. They're real Southern hospitality, honest answers, and fair pricing there at Deep South Construction Pros. So go to their website, deepsouthconstructionpros.com. That's deepsouthconstructionpros.com. Your home, their commitment, because it's your home. It matters to them. Deep South Construction Pros. Okay, so I just told you Saturday night, late Saturday evening after the Auburn loss, Joe Lenardi had Auburn still in the tournament. Well, just moments ago, he has posted a Monday morning update. And as of right now, he has subtracted one SEC team off the board. He had 11 in the tournament on Saturday. It is now down to 10. So which team faced the guillotine, according to Joe Lenardi? That would be the Auburn Tigers. Joe Lenardi no longer has Auburn in his field of 68.
I'm wondering what changed? Did you have a couple of days to digest how bad they've been?
I don't know the numbers for them, but could it be Ohio State's impressive win yesterday against Purdue?
Maybe.
Was that their first quad one, Ohio State?
Well, to be fair, yes, because he now has Ohio State in his last four in and Auburn in the first four out. So there you go. That was
and like you brought up in hour number one, it's inevitable. You're going to see a lot of moving and shaking going on.
Someone's going to get upset, and it's going to happen.
They're clinging in there right now just based on all of the metrics that have supported them up to this point.
Correct.
Well, because it's like after the loss to Ole Miss, I think he moved them down one spot because they were in his last four in before the game, and then after they lost, they just moved down one spot, but they were still in the last four.
I haven't heard one Auburn fan that I've talked to privately who has texted me, just got a text from an Auburn grad who's a big Auburn fan. Not one has said, "Now, wait a minute. Let's take a look at those numbers. That win over Florida, that was really impressive. We should be in the tournament." Not one.
Because they watched this team with their own two eyeballs for the last month and a half. It's not a good product.
I venture to say, and he'll never say it publicly, but Stephen Pearl feels the way that most Auburn fans do.
He's probably ready for the season to be over, honestly. Let me get my guys in here. Going to be a lot of turnover on the roster, I imagine. Learned a lot, hopefully.
So what is interesting about this list is that because of that, I know Chris, who called earlier, was not impressed with Alabama's win against the Tennessee Volunteers on Rocky Top. But that is a big quad one win on the road in the SEC for Alabama. As of this moment, and this is as high as I've seen Alabama in quite some time, he has got Alabama knocking on the door as a 3 seed.
They should be.
I mean, there are still a 4, but right ahead of them is Nebraska at 12.
Mm-hmm.
And Alabama's at 13. A little rivalry going on between Conrad and Molly for seeding. Look at him. He's got that dirty look at you.
I give credit to Nebraska. I thought they were going to fall off a cliff there for a little bit.
If resumes are the same, then I just go, who is more fun to watch play? And I think Alabama should be the 3
It's a good metric because then they could be a 1 seed because they're really fun to watch play.
They're fun to watch.
Well, at least the first half against Mississippi State, they're fun.
This tournament's about ratings.
They were not fun to watch for 39 minutes and 38 seconds on Saturday, but that last 22 seconds was good.
Yeah.
But they hung in there.
Just
like
gritty.
Like hair in a biscuit.
Hey, listen, if I'm sitting in that room with Florida, I'm putting Florida on the 1 line. I'm finding one of the 4 of the weakest so-called ones, and I'm like, Florida is...
Duke, Michigan, Arizona, Florida. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
According to that, who would I know the matchups are going to be different in most cases, but who would they play in the second round?
Who?
Florida.
Oh, I don't have the full bracket. He just has his seating.
As a 2, if they were as a 2 seed, no. I don't nobody want. And now Michigan, you got one of your guards that goes down with a season-ending injury. It's going to be interesting.
Well, see, Florida is knocking on the door because he's got Florida as a 5. He's got UConn a 4. I think Florida and UConn, if they played the next 2 weeks 4 times, Florida beats them 4 times.
If you put your money right now, put your money on the team that wins the NCAA tournament, who is it?
I think it's Duke.
Probably Duke, yeah.
It's Duke for me, too.
Boozer's real good. So you were asking who Florida would play. This is just the latest from Lenardi. Marshall in the first round, and then they would play either St. Louis or Texas, the winner of that game.
And then potentially play it out. Who would they potentially play?
So they would be in the same region as UConn, or the same part of the bracket as UConn. That would be the 1 seed that they would play. You'd have UConn. Let's see, UConn, Tennessee, Texas Tech, Houston.
That Florida-UConn matchup could be interesting. Remember, was it last year that they played in one of those early? That was the closest scare that I think that Florida team had gotten.
I think you're right, yeah.
UConn battled them toe for toe, and that was when Florida was playing pretty well. That would be interesting because I remember those 2 personalities in Danny Hurley and Todd Golden. Yeah. I want to see that in my Sweet 16.
That'd be a great game. Be a great game.
I would give second best odds right now to Florida, though.
Yeah.
They're
to win it all.
really well.
When we come back on 3-Man Front, we'll get back to the text line, 205-834-9450 on this Reaction Monday on Jocks. You know, we're 1 week away from the Alabama Crimson Tide getting on the spring practice field. Hard to believe it's the third spring for Kalen DeBoer at the University of Alabama. And over the weekend, the NFL Combine wrapped up, and Ty Simpson, not sure if many of you were able to watch the tape or see it on social media of Ty Simpson throwing at the Combine.
Woo, buddy.
You get excited?
Those are some dots.
He had about 3 or 4 that the receiver had to slow up to wait on.
Glass half full, glass half empty. It's fine.
It's what I saw. Did you not see those, or did you watch your Alabama social media sites that only showed you the ones where he actually looked okay?
Yeah, I have this app where I put a video on my phone, and if there's anything negative about Alabama in it, it scrubs it, so I don't have to see it.
Oh, that's very interesting. Here's some key takeaways from Todd McShay.
I might try that.
About Ty Simpson. He says, evaluators appreciate Simpson's NFL-level processing and organization, with some scouts ranking his technical traits above Fernando Mendoza's. Todd McShay goes on to talk about his health. He says, after a late-season production dip and a bout with gastritis that dropped his weight to 190 pounds, Simpson weighed in at a healthy 211 pounds. It's pretty significant.
Getting some groceries.
He says the hurdles, this according to Todd McShay, concerns persist regarding his durability, non-prototypical frame, and limited experience at the college level. Todd McShay says the bottom line, Simpson's camp is framing his late-season struggles as a result of injury and a fading supporting cast. Now, think about that. So Ty Simpson's camp is talking about his teammates were fading around him. Like he was doing his job, but it was everybody else on the football team.
It's kind of like the guys he was throwing to in the combine. They ran too far.
Yeah.
They're too fast.
They're too fast.
I hate when my receivers are too fast.
I thought they were going to say, well, the fact that he comes from a program that falls below championship standards.
This is the final word from Todd
We just don't know if we can
McShay.
trust him.
Yeah.
He says he hasn't unseated Mendoza, but he is firmly in the first-round conversation.
Well, if it comes down to character with both of these guys, I think Mendoza stays number one. It'd be great if maybe he had some character flaws.
I've seen a lot of people nitpicking Mendoza. It's like everyone assumed he's the number one pick, and now people are like,
Everybody does that.
he's too good. We have to.
Remember, they were nitpicking Cam Ward.
He won a national championship, went undefeated at Indiana. He's pretty good.
But he started at Incarnate Word. Right there on the side of the interstate in San Antonio.
Yeah, got to find
We
things
can't
to
trust a guy like that.
criticize. Yeah.
So when you're at these combine, you always have reporters that will ask off the wall things. Not that what you're about to hear is off the wall, but this is a reporter who asked Ty Simpson, what was the longest play that you memorized for the huddle? Take a listen.
The longest play call I had memorized. I'll give you one. This is a touchdown against Wisconsin. I hit Germ on the dig route. It was about the 45 to 50-yard line. So it would have been H swag to triple left narrow, Frito Tiger, white Dover, Z Commander, stayed right. So it's a Dover. It's the in cut by Germ, reading it man zone. Had the motion to see what the defense was, and it was a 3-week. So they spun down to one high. And Germ in a good route. Isaiah pinned the hook player, and Germ made a great catch. And Lottie did a good job of clearing it out, and he scored.
I think now we realize why guys like Johnny Manziel didn't want to go in the film room and learn all that stuff.
Or Kyler
A lot
Murray.
more fun to go out and party with your friends and just kind of count on natural ability on Saturdays.
This is where I missed the, what was it, Gruden's QB camp?
That sounded awful.
Every
All
year?
I remember from that was Frito Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
I do love some Fritos.
Dover, Frito Tiger.
Is this where you just get the football and you just draw the play on the football and you go do this, you go do that?
Oh, you turn around. Oh, team.
Yeah, exactly.
Right there on you're diagramming on your chest.
Yeah.
You're going to run 10 yards and then cut across the middle. Great.
Yep. So Ty Simpson, a lot of folks went on and on about really improved himself and his stock this weekend. Another person that improved their stock is Arkansas quarterback Talon Green. He ran a 4.3640, a quarterback combine record 43.5-inch vertical. That is 3 inches higher than Anthony Richardson's. Of course, we see what Anthony Richardson's
Somebody's going to fall in love with him.
Yeah, they are.
He had an 11-foot 2-inch broad jump.
Yes.
All first at the position of quarterback. Green is drawing comparisons. Are you ready for this? You ready? Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, I saw that one coming.
Evaluators point to his football IQ, accuracy, physical touch as clear differentiators. While he may not have Milroe's elite top-end speed, the 4.3640 eliminates any concerns about Green's athletic ceiling.
Accuracy?
Talk about he may not have Milroe's elite top-end speed, but no, they think that his accuracy is much better than Milroe's.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, oh, that's not something I'd be excited about. This guy's just as accurate as Jalen Milroe.
Talon Green, in 4 seasons, 2 of them at Boise, 2 in Fayetteville, overall completion percentage of 60%, 59 touchdowns, 35 interceptions.
Those rushing yards look good, though.
But you're right. Somebody will get enamored by him.
Yeah,
At times, Talon Green looked the part. He played the part.
absolutely.
The problem with Talon Green, and a lot like Jalen Milroe, you see something spectacular, and the next moment you're going, that's the dumbest decision I've ever seen a quarterback make.
Well, it's great when you have 3 games a year that you look like a Heisman winner, but when you have 9 games a year where you look average.
I mean, I can think of 2 games last year off the top of my head, one being Memphis, the other one being Ole Miss, where, I mean, he single-handedly lost the game.
Turnover prone. He doesn't have great decision making.
Yeah.
But somebody will fall in love with him, and he will have a
Absolutely.
roster spot.
4.36 is a quarter. That's nuts.
That is nuts.
That is absolutely insane.
Just make him a tight end. Tell him to add weight and be a tight end.
Are you willing to gain weight?
You can't do that, Pat.
Healthy weight.
Can't do that anymore
Why?
because he's a quarterback.
Okay. How's that working out for Jalen Milroe?
He won a Super Bowl, Pat. He's a champion of the world.
Okay.
Maybe he could play another position, like Matt Jones from Arkansas did.
Don't you remember when Jalen Milroe at the Sugar Bowl a couple of years ago? That was Bryce Young's final game at Alabama. Remember, they put him at tight end.
They did.
They lined him up at tight end in practice in the dome. He was a quarterback. He was not going to go that route.
Well, that's why him and Bill O'Brien didn't get along because Bob said he would never be a quarterback.
Bill, beginning of practice, would always send him with the tight ends and say, would be like, come on, come back. You know how Bill is.
You know, if I found out something like that happened, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
You know how Bill is. Bill, let him in your group. We promised him he's a quarterback. Hey, he's got a Super Bowl ring.
I know. He's champion of the world. Him and Jalen Hurts. Something about those Jalens. Do we have any of those in the pipeline?
What is his projected?
Who?
Talon.
It
doesn't give one. Just,
no, I have not seen him listed in the top 4 rounds.
I think I saw, I forgot, maybe it was Kuiper. Had him like the 8th quarterback in the class. Someone will pick him up.
Yeah, well, get a flyer. Keep in mind, Stetson Bennett's still toying around. And the debate in Atlanta about a week ago was that people over on 680 The Fan, they wanted
To trade for Stetson Bennett?
They wanted the Falcons to trade for Stetson Bennett. No, I'm not making that up. I mean, that was
bring him home.
Absolutely.
That's a wild take.
Mm-hmm. Bring him home to Atlanta. Let him be a backup.
Man, and you have Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix, and it's just.
Well, Kirk's going to be.
Well, he's going to be gone, but still.
Yeah. No, they want him back. It's no different than back in the day. I mean, Alabama fans. Any 2-bit league that we had here in town.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it was like,
we
got to bring him back to be the quarterback. Instead, they just hired him to be the head coach.
That's right.
Talon Green's projected as a day 3 pick.
Good for him.
Yeah, and he could be the next Tom Brady.
Grab him in the 6th round.
Yeah. If you got a dangerous tree leaning over your house or maybe branches blocking your view, you need to call Golston Tree Service today before that next storm comes on the horizon. 205-337-4443. Golston's licensed pros handle everything from trimming and pruning to full tree removals. It's fast, safe, and affordable. Don't wait until the next storm causes damage. Call Golston Tree Service. Golston offers that 24-hour emergency tree service. 205-337-4443.
Well, a lot of your text that we will get to, very entertaining text here on this Reaction Monday. 205-834-9450. Three-man front continues on Jocks.
It is 11:50 here on Jocks. A lot of talk about NCAA basketball as we have now hit March. If we could, Conrad, can we cue up the Bruce Pearl on TNT? We've got a response from what you're about to hear. This was Bruce Pearl over the weekend talking about an undefeated Miami of Ohio. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Miami, Ohio, here's the deal. Are we going to select the 68 most deserving teams, or are we going to select the 68 best teams? If we're selecting the 68 best teams, then Miami, Ohio is going to have to win their tournament to qualify as a champion. Because as an at-large, they are not one of the best teams in the country. And that's going to be a difficult choice for the committee to make.
The MAC has not had multiple teams, multiple bids since 98-99. So that's almost 30 years ago. And the strength of schedule for Miami of Ohio, 321st. It doesn't look good when we're weighing resumes, which is what's happening with the bubble talk right now. You mentioned New Mexico.
Correct.
They're one of those first 4 in, first 4 outs. These are always a little deceiving because you don't know who the first 8 in or the last 8 out are. But what is this moment like, this bubble time? I know you're thinking about this right now with your son as well, with all.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play your way in or you're going to lose your way out. It's just that simple with all these teams. And Mash, to your question, for the mid-majors and low majors, it's all about the tournament because they recognize there's only going to be a 1-bid league. For the rest of the leagues, it's all about the grind of a regular season championship, and I think that's what matters most.
All right, so he went on to also say during the extended portion of that clip that if Miami of Ohio played in a league like the Big East, that they would finish dead last in the Big East Conference. Well, David Saylor, who is the athletics director for Miami of Ohio, he has gone to Twitter. He has tweeted at Coach Bruce Pearl, "You are flat out wrong about Miami of Ohio basketball when you say we would finish last in the Big East. The disrespect is awful, and you should not be near a TV studio covering the sport when you show your true colors. Even slipped in a we when talking about Auburn. Nice work!" Exclamation point. So the athletics director of Miami of Ohio taking a shot at Bruce Pearl, saying the disrespect is awful and you should not be near a TV studio covering this sport when you show your true colors.
I don't know why you would respond there, but okay.
I guess I look at it
We'll
like
never
this.
know because they're never going to play in the Big East.
It's an easy way to puff your chest out and go, well, no, we wouldn't. But like you said, you can't ever prove it.
I find it hard to believe that you couldn't find any better programs to play you in the non-conference.
I agree with that.
321 is just a tough schedule to defend.
No, I agree with that. I guess my thing with the Bruce Pearl thing is I think Bruce Pearl does a good job. But I think like Nick Saban on game day, I think Nick Saban does a great job on game day. I don't take what he says about Alabama seriously because he's getting a paycheck from them. So obviously he's going to say things in their favor more often than not. Similarly with Bruce Pearl, he's still affiliated with Auburn basketball. His son is the coach. If you're looking for someone to give you a straight, honest, no biased opinion on Auburn basketball, probably don't listen to Bruce Pearl, just like if you want an unbiased opinion on Alabama football, don't listen to Nick Saban.
Well, the problem that Bruce is getting into is the fact that his son's team is getting beat up pretty bad nationally from people why they are still in a conversation and potentially they would still a bid away from Miami of Ohio, and Bruce is taking shots at Miami of Ohio. A lot of people are saying the only reason he's saying that is because you're trying to protect your son's team
Correct, yeah.
from getting a bid into the tournament.
That's 100% what he's doing.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. And I think that's what you have to expect when you ask the dad of the coach that he threw into this position. And that's a whole nother conversation that we can have. But, I expect nothing less.
Yeah, it's not a surprise that he's doing that. That's why, again, I
think the comparison you made to Saban on game day, that's a good one.
Take it with a grain of salt. I like Bruce Pearl. He does a good job, but he's going to be biased towards Auburn and towards his son. That's okay. But you just have to know that going into it. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
The disrespect is awful, and you should not be near a TV studio covering this sport when you show your true colors. That from the athletics director at Miami of Ohio towards Bruce Pearl.
Well, once Auburn's eliminated, well, I think they have been, and they're not in the tournament, then I think Bruce actually gives some really good analysis on college basketball.
I think he does a great job overall.
Just take Auburn out of it.
Yeah.
He does a good job.
It's going to be interesting because Wally Zerbiak and Bruce Pearl, that will be must-see studio.
I'll tell you who would give you a honest opinion on Auburn basketball right now, Charles Barkley.
Absolutely.
He'll tell you like it is. He'll tell you he sees guys that have mailed it in. Maybe.
He's honest.
Maybe he thinks Miami of Ohio should be in.
I really hope Bruce responds to that on Twitter. I don't think he will, but it'd be funny.
I think it would be smart of Bruce to tap down the rhetoric a little bit.
Which is exactly why it'd be funny if he responded.
Because just like Saban, you lose credibility when you start going there.